Right now, while you are watching this, something is pulling you. Not metaphorically, not in the background sense that gravity connects everything to everything else. Specifically, directionally, the object at the center of your galaxy, 4 million times more massive than the Sun, sitting 27,000 light years from where you're sitting right now, is exerting a measurable, calculable, gravitational influence on your body, on the ground beneath your feet, on this entire planet, on every planet in the solar system, and on the Sun itself. And it has been doing this without a single interruption since before the first complex organism appeared in the first ocean on Earth. You were not told about this. Nobody warned you. There was no announcement, no briefing, no moment at which the species collectively registered the fact of its own orbital situation. You arrived into this world, as every human being has arrived, already inside a gravitational relationship with one of the most massive and violent objects in the galaxy. A relationship you had no say in, no awareness of, and no ability to exit. You were born orbiting a supermassive black hole. You will die orbiting one, and there is a detail that almost every piece of coverage on this subject quietly glosses over. A detail that changes the character of what I have just told you from an interesting astronomical fact into something else. We are getting closer. What you are actually part of. Not the poetic version, the precise version. The solar system is in orbit around the black hole at the center of the Milky Way. This is not a figure of speech. The Sun and every object gravitationally bound to it. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid, every comet, the cloud of frozen debris at the outer edge called the Oort cloud. All of it is in motion. All of it is moving in the same direction, at approximately the same speed, in a vast arc around the galactic center. The speed of this orbit is approximately 220 kilometers per second. To put that in terms that register differently, 792,000 kilometers per hour. The solar system is moving at 792,000 kilometers per hour around the black hole that is pulling it. The time required to complete one full orbit of the galactic center is called a galactic year. It is approximately 225 to 240 million of our years. In the full lifetime of the Sun, from its formation from a cloud of gas and dust to the present day, the solar system has completed this enormous journey approximately 18 to 20 times. 18 to 20 galactic years. I want you to feel what that means, because numbers of this size are very easy to hear and very difficult to actually absorb. When the solar system last stood at roughly its current position in the arc of this orbit, the earliest dinosaurs were the dominant complex animals on Earth. The first birds had not yet appeared. Mammals were small, mostly nocturnal creatures that spent their lives in the shadow of species that no longer exist. 2 orbits before that, approximately 500 million years ago, complex animals with hard skeletons had only just appeared in the fossil record. The Cambrian explosion, the first eyes, the first legs, the first creatures capable of navigating the world as more than simple cellular colonies. 4 orbits ago, the Earth had no multicellular life at all. 18 to 20 orbits ago, the solar system itself was still forming. The Sun was not yet a stable star. The Earth did not exist. The black hole has been pulling the solar system through space for all of that. Every galactic year, every orbit, every single species that has ever evolved on this planet, every creature that has ever lived, from the first single-celled organisms to the last human being who will ever draw breath, will have existed within a single arc of this pull. Not even a complete arc, a fraction of one. Your entire civilization, from the first agricultural settlements to every building that currently stands on the surface of the Earth, occupies a duration so small relative to one galactic year that it cannot be meaningfully drawn to scale on any diagram. And the pull has not weakened. It has not paused for a single second. It has not varied in its direction or diminished in its consistency. It is happening right now, at this exact moment, with the same relentless, indifferent regularity it has maintained since before the word before had any referent on this planet. The orbit is not circular. This is one of the details that most presentations of this topic leave out because it is uncomfortable. The solar system's orbit around the galactic center is an ellipse, not a dramatic ellipse. It is not wildly elongated, but an ellipse nonetheless, which means the distance between the solar system and Sagittarius A star is not constant. It changes. As the solar system travels along its orbital path, there are phases where it is moving generally away from the galactic center, and phases where it is moving generally toward it. We are currently in a phase where the net direction of travel includes a component toward the black hole. The specific rate of closure is not dramatic on any human timescale. No catastrophe is approaching. I am not telling you this to generate alarm. I am telling you this because most accounts of our relationship to Sagittarius A star describe the distance, 26,000 to 27,000 light years, as if it were a fixed, stable, reassuring number. It is not fixed, it is not stable. And whether it is reassuring depends entirely on what you consider a meaningful timescale. The current distance between the solar system and Sagittarius A star is approximately 26,000 to 27,000 light years. A light year is the distance light travels in a single year, moving at 300,000 kilometers per second, 26,000 of them. The gravitational influence operating across that distance is not detectable by any instrument you have access to in daily life. You cannot feel it. No instrument you have ever used has measured it directly, but it is geometrically present in the curvature of the solar system's path through space, and it has been determining that path, shaping it, governing it, for the entire 4.5 billion year history of this planet. You are closer to Sagittarius A star today than you were when you were born. Not by an amount that registers on any human scale, but closer. The direction of travel is toward. The pull is not diminishing. The distance is changing. These are not alarming statements in the immediate sense. They are simply accurate ones. And accuracy is what this channel is here for. The orbital pull I have been describing, the vast, slow, geological gravitational influence of a 4 million solar mass object on the solar system over billions of years, is, in the context of what Sagittarius A star is capable of, the least of it. Passive gravitational influence is the background condition. What I want to show you now is what this object did when it was not being passive. 3.5 million years ago, Sagittarius A star underwent a violent outburst. The trigger, the most accepted model, was a large cloud of hydrogen gas, carrying a mass of approximately 100,000 times that of the Sun, falling too close to the event horizon. The black hole consumed it. The energy released during that consumption was not quiet. The output was equivalent to 100,000 supernovae firing simultaneously. Not over a long period. Simultaneously. The event lasted approximately 300,000 years. The result of this event was not a simple, spherical explosion dissipating in all directions. It was a directed, asymmetric, bilateral outflow of radiation and energetic particles that carved two enormous cavities in the gas and plasma, above and below the galactic plane. Each of these cavities extends approximately 25,000 light-years from the galactic center. Together, they span 50,000 light-years, half the diameter of the Milky Way. They are not historical artifacts that have since faded. They are still there. They are still expanding. They are still measurable today, right now, in the gamma ray, X-ray, and radio sky. Scientists call them the Fermi bubbles. Now, I want to tell you when this happened, in terms that are not astronomical but human. 3.5 million years ago, Australopithecus afarensis was alive. This is the species that stands at or near the base of your direct ancestral line. The most famous individual member of this species was found in Ethiopia in 1974 by a team led by Donald Johanson. They named her Lucy. She lived at approximately 3.2 million years ago. Her species left footprints preserved in volcanic ash at a site called Laetoli in Tanzania, dated to approximately 3.6 million years ago. Two individuals walking upright, side by side, across damp volcanic sediment that subsequently hardened. Those footprints are still there. They have been preserved for 3.6 million years. You can visit them. Those individuals were alive during the Seifert flare. The most energetic, sustained event our galaxy has experienced in millions of years began while members of your ancestral species were walking upright across volcanic plains. Joss Bland Hawthorne and his team at the University of Sydney, who produced the definitive geometric analysis of the event in 2013, noted that the resulting plasma structure may have been visible in the night sky to our ancestors as a giant ball of heated gas, glowing for tens of thousands of years. And here is the fact that I find most disturbing about the Fermi bubbles. More disturbing than their size or their energy, or the fact that they happened while our ancestors were alive. We did not find them until 2010. The Fermi bubbles are not subtle. They span half the diameter of the Milky Way. They emit gamma rays, X-rays, and radio waves across most of the sky as seen from Earth. An instrument capable of detecting them in the radio bands was built in 1964. We had access to the relevant data for decades. The reason we did not find them is not that they were hiding. It is that no one had assembled the data at the right wavelengths, at the right angular scale, asking the right question, until a graduate student named Ming Su at Harvard looked at data from the Fermi Gamma Ray Space Telescope in 2009 and noticed something in the gamma ray maps that the standard data cleaning routines had been designed to remove, and stayed with it instead of discarding it. The structure he found had been there for 3.5 million years. We missed it for all of human history. We found a wound in the galaxy that predates our species, and we did not notice it for the entire history of human civilization. That is not a criticism of astronomers. It is a statement about what we are inside and how small the window of our perception is relative to the scale of what surrounds us. The Andromeda Galaxy, the nearest large spiral galaxy to the Milky Way, visible on a clear night from the northern hemisphere as a faint smudge in the constellation Andromeda, is approaching us. Not drifting, not slowly expanding away like most galaxies in the accelerating universe. Approaching, moving toward the Milky Way at approximately 110 kilometers per second, pulled by the combined gravity of the two galaxy clusters toward each other. In approximately 4 billion years, the gravitational interaction between the Milky Way and Andromeda will begin in earnest. The stars themselves are too far apart to physically collide. Interstellar distances are so vast that direct stellar collisions during the merger will be vanishingly rare. But the gravitational fields of the two galaxies will interpenetrate, distort each other, and eventually combine. The result will be a single merged system, which astrophysicists have already given a name in anticipation of the event. Milky Way, Sagittarius. A star has a mass of 4.297 million solar masses. The supermassive black hole at the center of Andromeda has a mass of approximately 100 million solar masses, roughly 23 times larger than Sagittarius A star. When the two galaxy cores eventually merge, these two black holes will begin to spiral toward each other under the influence of their combined gravity. The infall will produce gravitational waves, ripples in the fabric of space-time, of a frequency and intensity detectable across the observable universe. Eventually, perhaps hundreds of millions of years after the initial galactic contact, the two black holes will merge into a single object. That merged black hole will be the dominant gravitational feature of Milky Way. During this merger, the orbital stability of individual stellar systems will be disrupted. Computer simulations of the merger process, run many times with varying initial conditions, have produced probability distributions for the fate of our solar system specifically. The results are as follows. Approximately 50% probability that the solar system will be pushed outward to roughly 3 times its current distance from the galactic center. Approximately 12% probability that the solar system will be ejected from the galaxy entirely, thrown into the intergalactic void, no longer bound to any galaxy, orbiting nothing. Before we go to the close, I want to ask you something directly, and I want you to actually think about it before you answer. Everything I have described in this episode was true before you clicked on this video. The orbital pull has been operating since before your species existed. The Fermi bubbles happened while your ancestors were alive. The 12% ejection probability is encoded in the physics of the approaching galaxy. None of this changes anything you will do tomorrow morning. None of it poses a threat on any human timescale. It is simply the accurate description of the system you are inside. So here is the question. does knowing this change something in you? Not practically. Not in terms of your decisions or your behavior. Psychologically. Does the felt experience of your life change when you understand the scale of what you are inside and the indifference with which it operates? Leave your honest answer in the comments below. I read everyone, and the most thoughtful responses shape where this channel goes next. Let me leave you with what you now know that you did not know before you clicked. You are not stationary. You have never been stationary. The planet beneath you is moving at 792,000 kilometers per hour in a vast arc around an object 4 million times more massive than the Sun. That arc has been completing itself without interruption for 4.5 billion years. The solar system has gone around 18 to 20 times. Every species that has ever evolved on this planet, every civilization that has ever built anything, every individual human life that has ever been lived, all of it has taken place during a single incomplete arc of this pull, while the pull continued without any awareness of or interest in any of it. The object at the center of that pull has not been passive throughout this time. 3.5 million years ago, while your direct ancestors were making their first sustained upright footprints on the volcanic plains of East Africa, it released the energy of 100,000 supernovae simultaneously and carved a wound in the galaxy that is 50,000 light years across and still expanding today. We found it in 2010. It had been sitting in our sky for the entirety of human history, and we missed it for the whole of that time. The next chapter in this system's gravitational history is already in motion. The approaching galaxy. The eventual merger. The merger of the two central black holes. The 12% probability. The physics is already running. It does not require our presence to proceed, and it will not pause while we decide how to feel about it. This channel exists to take what the science actually says, not the version in the press release, not the version softened so that it ends on a note of wonder rather than weight, and deliver it without omission. Every fact in this episode is sourced from peer-reviewed astrophysics literature. The galactic year figures are standard. The Fermi bubble energy scale is confirmed. The Andromeda merger probabilities come from published N-body simulations. Nothing has been embellished, because embellishment would make this less disturbing than the truth already is. If you want the astrophysics as it actually is, rather than as it is comfortable to describe, subscribe. Hit the notification bell. The next episode takes everything we described today and shows you what the black hole did 3.5 million years ago in specific, confirmed, geometric detail, including the direction it fired in, the evidence that was used to reconstruct that direction, and why the direction is the detail that no press release about the Fermi bubbles ever adequately explained. The object at the center of your galaxy has been pulling you toward it since before the first cell divided in the first ocean on this planet. It pulled your ancestors toward it while they were making the first footprints our species ever left in the geological record. It is pulling you toward it right now, at this moment, while you watch this. The pull hasn't stopped.